Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So this video is a bit of a strange one today. There are things I see online regarding makeup, beauty, the makeup world in general, where I really want to talk about them, but I can't really make a whole video about them. So I've gathered a few things today that I just kind of want to like gossip about a little bit or talk about or give my opinion about. And I would love to know your opinions down below also. Let's just do it. Let's just talk about some of these things I've seen online. This video, right? It says if you're going to use influencers in your business, make sure they actually use your product. Now, this is a video of Hailey Bieber. So she's not really an influencer, she's a celebrity. That is different. And she's using Bare Minerals, the brand Bare Minerals. Remember them? They still exist. But look, this is obviously a paid ad because it features the product quite heavily. Watch this. It says, what the fuck, Hailey? And then goes on to say, I hope you got a refund on this marketing spend, Bare Minerals. This would have cost at least $50,000 to $100,000. She literally had one job. So obviously this was an advert where they've reached out to Hailey Bieber and was like, can you apply this powder? She doesn't really apply it. It's a situation where she's holding a compact like this and she's going... It's like fake application, right? That's what I do if I'm doing a bride and a photographer comes around and is trying to take pictures of me and the bride. I will hold my brush on their face and I'll smile like this and pretend I'm doing makeup, right? A clean brush. It'll be a clean brush because I'm not actually applying any product because I want to concentrate on what I'm doing. Can I just say something, right? One thing that really bugs me. Influencers, anyone who is paid to do an advert for a makeup brand, flip your video. I've said this so many times. Flip your video around. We don't have to read Bare Minerals backwards. I know it's like we know it's backwards, but it's the least you can do is have the logo of a brand going the right way for 50 grand. You know what I mean? Like at least just flip it around. Also, who signed this off? Not even her being like, I really like this powder just to finish up my skin. Come on. Like, why, how is this an advert? She's barely using it. She's touching it to her chin, under her eyes with that massive brush. I don't even think she's putting product on her face. And then she's tapping it with her finger for some reason. So this creator, I want to say Bonnie Travo, is using these new blushes from Nude Sticks. If you don't know how I feel about Nude Sticks, I don't like them. I just think they're not that good. I don't like their brand really. They're very like, you know, they'll like take pictures of them at Pride, but yet they feature hardly any men on their their socials and diversity. Anyway, they release these new like stackable blushes, which look very similar to the Melt stackable contours and bronzers. Very unimpressive and a very old concept, to be honest with you. To me, that's like Melt Cosmetics, a signature thing from them. So when I see them, I'm like, okay, oh, Melt's releasing new blushes. Oh, it's so harsh. And it was like that. One thing about Nude Sticks, which I don't really like, is their inclusivity, like I mentioned, in general, right? Not just about skin tone, about everything else. I just don't like it. So when I saw these blushes and when I saw this video, I'm like, this makes sense. It says on the screen, the reality of trying blushes on dark skin.
This one could be really good. It has potential. Looks like it could be a little warm. Yeah, so, no. These are Nude Sticks, brand new Stacks blushes. Let's go ahead and try these out and see what these look like on me. Come in 9 different shades. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm already a little bit skeptical about how these shades are gonna show up on me.
Let me just say, there are some shades here, like the bright pinks and the reds, which do suit deeper skin tones when they are done correctly. But she's saying she's already skeptical.
If try looking at the
With
shades.
reason.
These don't look like shades I would typically reach for. Got this little pamphlet in the PR. I'm always a little skeptical when I see models and not a single one looks like me. I get a little skeptical. Can you blame me? We're gonna see. I actually really like this blend and buff brush. I don't even know if I want to swatch all of these because I know every single one's gonna work for me and I do want to give these away. This one's in the shade Sun-Kissed. I do like that it has a little mirror. Okay. Barely Nude. Cheeky Coral. Let's see what this one looks like. This one's in the shade Picante Nude. Let's go ahead and see. It does have a creamy consistency, which I do like.
You can see already on the hands, they all have this kind of white, ashy, pastel undertone to them. Every single one of them, right?
Yeah. Love and Roses. Go ahead and see what this one looks like. I don't even think I'm going to swatch this one in Sunstone. I can already tell this is not going to be a blush for me. We have this shade Pink Love. This actually looks really, really, really pretty. This one has some potential.
I mean, those shades on her skin tone, no difference. They all look like just this group of lilac purple. You know what I mean?
All right, these two, I have some faith. So we swatched all of these. These ones I didn't even think about swatching. But we have two more. I have some faith. I'm curious. We have Magenta Matte. Could be really good. It has potential. It's bright pink. Looks like it could be a little warm.
It looks the same as the others.
Yeah, so, no. The fact that I haven't even been able to find one that I can put on my face yet is wild. Then we have, this is the last shade, Melon Sugar. Final redemption moment. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's give it a good rub. I'm trying to get a good amount of pigment. Okay. This is working with. Just for the sake of this video, we're gonna go ahead and try Melon Sugar on my cheek just to see if it's any different on my cheek instead. You know what I mean? This could have been such a fun product. I say this all the time, but I'll say it again. When it comes to color products like this, if you can make it work on dark skin, it could work on everybody. You would just use less. I just finished doing the rest of my makeup. I used these blushes. Final review, I'm always just really shocked. When it comes to these blush launches, like there are 9 shades here, right? They could have done 3 shades for fair to light skin tones. They could have done the next 3 for medium skin tones, the last 3 for deep dark. I feel like we could have divvied up the shade range a little bit better. What do we think?
Now, you might be one of those people that think that brands don't have to cater to everyone of every skin tone. I do. That's just me. We're in 2024. Get a grip. You know what I mean? But also as well, like she said in that video, there are 9 shades there. Not one of them suit her skin tone. Not one. Brands do this thing where they have one model with a slightly deeper skin tone and they're like, look, a black person. It works on everyone. Don't pretend, nude sticks. Let's not pretend. The fact that these were tested on people, because products are tested before, and what? They went one shade slightly darker and none of them worked. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. That's great. It just does not make sense to me. I'm unsure why they made all those shades of that kind of ashy white undertone as well. I don't know why you would do that in general, but again, like what was said in that video, if you make products with a lot of good pigment that suit people with a deeper skin tone, they will also work for lighter skin tones. And like she said again, you would just use less product. There were shades there, looking at the packaging, that would work on deeper skin tones had they had the right pigmentation to it. Were they not all white undertoned? I just think it's really tone deaf, really old fashioned, and people need to get a grip. One thing that kind of was happening recently on TikTok, right? So you know people do these TikTok live events, or they do like these live shops where you're on there, say I'm a brand, say I work for Bioderma, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm surrounded by Bioderma products. I'm like, I'm packing your orders, so order and I'll pack them live and maybe I'll throw in a few free things, all that kind of stuff. That happens a lot on TikTok, right? On TikTok lives, on TikTok shop. There's been this trend recently of brands going live and doing like lives that are hours long, like 12 hours long, 24 hours long. Here's an explanation.
A huge makeup brand on TikTok did a 12-hour live. They made over £2 million. Let's talk about the response I've seen to it on TikTok today. Literally so many videos of people kicking off saying, pressure to spend, I felt pressure to spend. Reminded me of a scenario a few months back. Similar videos were coming out from creators saying, please can brands stop bringing out so many products, I can't keep up with buying them all. If you can't say no to a sale and you can't say no to a brand bringing out products, that's not on the brand. Maybe it is a conversation we need to start having about the overconsumption some people feel the need to buy all the products. That's something we can have a conversation about, but we can't say, I felt pressured. If you can't say no to marketing, that's not on the brand. And I'm actually baffled. Some creators saying, I wish some brands would stop bringing out products because I can't afford to buy them all. And I want to buy them all. I want to create content based on those products, but I can't afford to. That's not on the brand. I don't see anybody complaining about NYX or Rimmel or Makeup Revolution who drop makeup collections every other day, but it's TikTok brands that people feel like they can say need to stop doing X, Y, Z. These are people that have created huge companies. This is incredible. Imagine if one of your best friends or even yourself had created an incredible company where they'd been able to put incredible sales on and where they've been able to have an amazing team around them, which means brainstormed loads of brand new products and they've consecutively got them all in production and their brand is growing and growing and growing. And you want them to say, whoa guys, like let's put a stop to this. And these brands keep coming out with things is because there's a demand there. Do you think the brand would still continue to make products if there was no demand for it? You're telling me if you had a huge brand and you knew there was a demand for something you make, you're going to stop and you're going to say, no, I don't want to. This is a business. This is a brand. This is how businesses work. I want to take a look at overconsumption and the need people feel to buy constantly. That is a conversation we can have. But what we can't do is we can't look at brands and say, please stop putting on sales. I felt pressured to buy. That's on you. It's how they get clients. It's how they get customers. It's how they get big. And for anyone slating these brands that have been doing these incredible lives, the fact that they are TikTok brands, so you know the people behind them. You know this is just people from like Manchester that have built up incredible brands. How are you trying to tear it down? I can't understand it. You'll never catch me hopping on the internet to try and tear someone down, ever.
Okay, so I agree and disagree with some of this situation, right? So I agree with everything she said there, but I do think that you should be producing quality products if you're producing loads and loads and loads. A brand like Revolution, who basically make crap and release something new however, is a bit wasteful. What bugs me about these brands, one thing anyway, so P. Louise was one of the first people to do this. It was the most hilarious situation. I got on TikTok the next day and everyone was just like laughing about how loud they were and how everyone was talking over each other. And I did find a few clips and I forgot to save them. I did find one, but it doesn't even show you the extent of how these people were talking over each other and how crazy it was.
Guaranteed newness. And then guys, we've got 5 golden tickets that will be in 5 of these mystery boxes.
5 golden tickets, guys! 5 golden tickets!
Want to grab yourself one of these?
We've got 5 adverts up for grabs right now. This is insane!
Guys, grab your newness and free delivery, guys.
You guaranteed to double your money and you get free shipping!
5 golden tickets, guys. Never, ever again are you grabbing one of these on a P. Louise live. 5 golden tickets left, guys. 5 left. You can't do newness. We've got 30 mystery boxes. Free shipping.
Guys, grab your mystery boxes now. You haven't got
5 of these
Five
if you
tickets
want
up
that
for
golden
grabs right
ticket.
now, guys! We are
guaranteed newness in these mystery boxes, guys. Guaranteed newness, guys.
Grab your
Honestly.
mystery boxes now.
Okay, so obviously not my cup of tea because I'm a 35-year-old. I don't like people shouting and screaming over each other, but it obviously worked for them because they did make a shit ton of money. I think it was some million, right? Here's my issue with this, right? They're celebrating making this goal of making this certain amount of money. Millions of something. This is already a brand that make millions. They already do it. Made by Mitchell made millions as well. They are celebrating making $1 million on TikTok Live while people are buying their products, which is fine. It's up to you what you do with your money. However, even if you aren't buying their products and you're seeing this, okay, imagine if Amazon, right? This is my example, Amazon Prime, a brand that we know make billions, right? It's not comparable to millions, but you know, imagine if they were doing a TikTok Live and they're like, oh my God, guys, we made 23 million. It's like, you already make millions and everyone else is pretty much poor. It just seems tone deaf. And again, I don't mean the customers. I don't mean the people willing to spend their money. That's on you. That's up to you, what you spend your money on. But to celebrate already as £1 million business making $1 million. If you are a small business, right, a very small business, an indie brand, which they are, but just starting out, and your goal was to make $1 million, and you reached that goal, great. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of tone deaf, considering you're already a multi-million pound business. You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it. They're not the only brand, don't get me wrong. They're not the only brand doing it. I think it's tone deaf for everyone. I just think it's really, really strange. For their support, like for their supporters, great, but then you kind of get into like this weird cult thing. Let's not go into the cult of some of these brands. Maybe we will one day. Anyway, let me know if that makes sense. It probably didn't. The next thing I want to talk about is this artist who created custom painted bottles of product for a brand trip, right? And they released this TikTok saying, point of view, watching influencers party in Mexico for body spray, hoping they post 1 second of the bottles that took you 15 hours to paint. So this was obviously a brand trip. For the brand KBeauty, they do like these coconut-based products like body mist, makeup removers, all that kind of stuff. And when you go on a brand trip, more than likely you'll have some custom-made products for you, right? This person was obviously approached by the brand to paint bottles with names on for the influencers to put in like their bags or their rooms or something like that.
Like, how is this entire room just for me?
Starting the day off with Pilates. Okay. There's one. Oh, now they're at a pajama party. There was a brief glimpse of a bottle. Nothing. Here we are. What? This is an influencer trip in Mexico. Those are bottles that I painted. So you? What's it say? What's her name? Let's see if they posted anything. Okay, there they are in the background. I'll take that screenshot.
So she's obviously waiting for an influencer or somebody to tag her in a post or something to say, this is a person who created this amazing personalized art piece for us. Which, let me tell you, you can't rely on that. You can't rely on it. This is where I think a lot of brands go wrong, is they expect influencers to talk about everything. Which, yes, I try to. I feel guilty if I don't say even thank you for PR, right? You don't have to be like, oh, I love this. Just be like, thank you on your Instagram stories. Doesn't take much. So the artist is called Katrina Eugenia. Eugene. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'll put her name on screen. Painter and photographer from Jersey. And you'll notice in that video, someone read out the name of one of the influencers there, Sue Yoon. And she actually commented on this post and said, hey Katrina, we were given it as a gift and all of us loved it and were so excited to receive it from KBeauty. There wasn't any mention of having to tag, as I see it was paid. They are beautiful. Thank you for taking the time to make them. The art is beautiful and definitely a skilled craft. 100% agreed. Here's the deal. The person was paid for this. They were paid for the job of painting all these individual products. Would it be nice to get some more mentions from these influencers? Absolutely. But I think what Soo Yoon Lee said here was very classy, very well done. The artist replies, oh my god, you are so sweet. Thank you. This video was meant to be humbling, funny, and encourage artists who might sometimes feel discouraged. It was in no way meant to feel like an attack. It did feel a little bit like, people are very quick to blame influencers in the world we live in for good reasons and for bad reasons. It did feel a little bit on the ungrateful influencers kind of end of things. And it did make it look like I did all of this for influencers and I'm not even saying anything, when it was actually a paid job that she got money for. Again, I think something like that, something beautifully done, art should be praised and recognized. But I do think that was a little bit like, I'm failing, my business is failing, when she actually got paid to do it. You know what I mean? Yes, it was a good example being humbled, but it wasn't funny. There was no humor to it at all. I'd love to know your opinions on that, because I just thought that was a bit of a weird thing to put up. Okay, let's talk YouthForia. Still being tone deaf, stupid, and whoever's on their social media team needs to be fired immediately, even though I just think it's the owner. So they posted this meme from the Olympics. For those of of you don't know the whole situation with the Euphoria shade range and all this stuff, please check out my videos below because it will preface all of this. They posted a meme during the Olympics that said, "Me if sleeping in my makeup was an Olympic sport." Then they did another slide, skincare, Euphoria, makeup, like, because that's their thing, they all work in harmony. And then they have Snoop Dogg, when you tell people you sleep in your makeup. When I sleep in my makeup but wake up without any breakouts. Now, obviously, Euphoria seemed to have an issue with catering for people of colour, people with deeper skin tones, and they have an issue with lying about it, releasing offensive products, offensive statements, and not holding themselves accountable for it. Now, I don't know if this was their way of having some kind of inclusion on their profile, but people are not having it. Someone actually tagged me and said, "Tag you in this because of the audacity." I totally agree. Posting this when you don't even have a shade she could use is actually wild. So shameful. Don't be using that gymnast when you don't even have a proper foundation shade for her. Someone said at Euphoria, "Please stop this. You have shown us who you are and we believe you. Your products are not for people like me, and that is fine. I had never even heard of your brand before this, but this whole situation shows me that your products are not for people who look like me. Thus, I will not purchase your products no matter whose picture you try and put in your IG to pretend to be inclusive. Just stop, please." 100%. This is them trying to be like, "Oh, we love everyone and look how everyone can be involved in our funny memes that aren't funny." Don't sleep in your makeup, even if they say you can. Tone deaf as always from Euphoria. They just don't get it and they never will. I hate that brand. I hate that brand and everyone who runs it. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know your opinions down below. As always, tag me in things like I see if I ever see anything, and I will see you very soon. Bye.